Collingwood and Richmond have just announced a charity shield that'll benefit the Food Bank of Australia. Let's talk about it. So before the season starts, as we're all well aware, all of the teams play some practice matches. We've got one coming up against North Melbourne, which is like a match simulation on February 21st. And then our proper AFL sort of sanctioned practice match is against Richmond. That is the week after on the 27th, and that'll be at Icon Park. So before all of this sort of charity shield stuff was announced, the AFL said everything is free. All the practice games and stuff are going to be free, except for Collingwood and Richmond. More details later. So everyone was like, "What's going on? Why is the Collingwood and the Richmond one the only one that's not going to be free?" They did mention a charity, but we didn't really know anything. And then Richmond and Collingwood put out a couple of statements saying that they're looking at doing, or this will be the inaugural charity shield match played annually in the preseason between Collingwood and Richmond. All the proceeds will go to Food Bank Australia, which is just incredible, right? Food Bank Australia, they provide 50,000 meals a day to the less fortunate, and I just love anything that sort of goes towards, you know, a charity like that. And you know, Collingwood do a lot of stuff with Coles in that sort of regard as well. So that's really cool. And Richmond actually approached Collingwood to say, hey, here's an idea. What do you guys think? Are you guys on board? And of course, Collingwood jumped at the chance to help the less fortunate. And here we are with a charity shield match. Now, this is going to sound like pretty, not weird or dumb, but anyway. So a couple of months ago, or maybe it was last month, I wrote down a bunch of videos that I wanted to do. And one of those videos was going to be based on like the community shield that they do in England. You know, the Premier League winners and the FA Cup winners, they play each other before the season starts for a trophy. Now, as you sort of know, I procrastinate a lot, right? And there's still so many more videos that I want to do that I just keep putting off. Procrastination, ADHD, or whatever you want to sort of call it. And I just kept putting off this video, and now they've announced a charity shield. So this video is going to combine my previous video that I want to do, and like we just talked about, charity shield and what it sort of means going forward, and what I'd love to sort of see it evolve into. So let's get into that now. So the Community Shield in England, if you're unaware, is played before the season starts, and it's pretty much like the kickoff of the season. It's the first trophy of the season. So how they sort of determine who plays in the Community Shield is the winners of the Premier League, so who finished top of the table, they're the first finalists, and the second finalists are the winners of the FA Cup, which is another in-game competition for a trophy. Now, with that, if one team like Manchester City, they won the Premier League and they won the FA Cup in the same year, they obviously can't verse each other, which would be cool to see side A and side B, but they can't verse each other. So what happens is the runner-up of the Premier League plays off in the Community Shield against the winners of, like Manchester City, who won both of those. So it'll be the second team who came runners-up. Last year? It was Arsenal. So it was City and Arsenal. Arsenal ended up winning. They lifted the first major trophy of the year. Now, I love winning trophies. I love trophies just in general. We see it throughout the Collingwood season. We've got the EJ Whitten Trophy against the Doggies. We've got the Anzac Trophy, obviously, against Essendon. And we've got the Peter McCallum Cup against Carlton, amongst, I think, no, that might be the three biggest ones that I can think of. And then, obviously, you're competing for the Premiership Cup. So Collingwood have a chance to win 4 cups. And I think we actually did it. Did we do 4? No, I think Carlton won that one. Yeah, they did in that second game. It wasn't the first game, it was the second game where they won that. And the last one is the McLeland Trophy, I think I'm pronouncing that right, which was awarded to the team that finished first on the ladder, but now it's the team that finished first on the ladder with a combined AFL and AFLW wins. Last season, it was Melbourne. So here's my proposal, right? I think that, okay, this is not going to happen. This is all hypothetical now, but the Charity Shield, Collingwood, Richmond, maybe call it something else or leave it as a charity shield. I think there should be another major trophy, and I feel like it should be the winners of, kind of like the community shield in the EPL, should be the winners of the grand final, so in this case Collingwood, and it should be whoever wins the McClelland Trophy, in this case it is Melbourne, and it should be the first major trophy that teams compete for, and there could be like a prize incentive or something like that. But I think that any game where you're winning a trophy, you're going to take seriously, except for like AFLX, right? We need more, or maybe not more games, but I think there's a lot of dead space at the start of the year, January, February, that, we could be doing something. And I'd love to see, maybe after the practice matches, a big curtain raiser like this. It doesn't have to be at the MCG, could be, maybe it's the home ground for where the winners are, so of the grand final. So if Collingwood wins the premiership, it's at the MCG. If West Coast win the premiership, it's at Optus and GWS and etc, etc, etc. So I think that'll be such a cool idea. And another sort of aspect to this is that, with Ron Barassi's passing, there were talks of naming the Premiership Cup after him or something like that. I'd name this trophy the Barassi, maybe not the Barassi Cup, but the Barassi Trophy, with money going towards, kind of like a community sort of thing as well. So some of the ticket sales go towards a charity in his name or whatever it may be. But I'd love to see us not sort of stick Barassi, who is an absolute champion and legend of the game and everything that he's done after the game, onto just a Premiership Cup or like a, like another medal or something. But I'd love a Barassi Trophy where it's the two best teams combined. And, that could be, and this is not just for the men's comp either. Like, yes, it's the premiership winner of the AFLM and then the McClelland Trophy. But the thing about the McClelland Trophy, because it's the AFL and the AFLW, this Barassi Cup could then have the curtain raiser, and it could be like a big double header. The curtain raiser of the AFLW Premiership and obviously the AFLW McClelland Trophy. So, so the AFLW version of this would be Brisbane as the premiers and then Melbourne playing them. I reckon that's just, I don't know, such a really cool idea and something that we haven't seen in a while. We did have the preseason sort of competition years and years and years ago. I remember it back, it was the NAB, then it was Wizard, then it was NAB, and I thought that was really fun. Just something to sort of cheer about. 2011, we took out that preseason trophy, and it's a major trophy. Like other things that you could sort of look at is, in the Community Shield, they do, so there's 4 substitutes allowed during the game, but with the Community Shield they allow, I think it's like 6 or something, so maybe a little bit of rule tweaks, where like there's a 9-pointer or something like that. Maybe that diminishes from sort of how sort of serious you take it, but something along the lines of that, where they can sort of trial 5 players on the bench and see how that sort of works in a big game like that. But yeah, I thought it'd be a perfect time with the charity shield that Collingwood and Richmond announced to give you my version of the Barassi Trophy, which I think it's a good idea, but also I'm not a head honcho who's making these big decisions. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a shit idea? As always, I'd love to know your thoughts, but leave them in the comment section below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your best, and until next time, double shaggers, I'll see you later.